Hello guys, KJ Designs with a new tutorial of Affinity Photo. In this tutorial, you are going to learn the basic fundamental things that beginners and professionals need to know while using Affinity Photo software. For those that are new to this program, this is the best tutorial, the best video that you need. So go ahead, download the pictures that we are going to be using throughout this video from the video description below. Without wastage of time, let's jump into the program. The first thing that you need to know is how to open images in Affinity Designer. So go to Files in the left upper corner, then click on Open. Here you can click on a photo you want and then click open, or you can select multiple images by holding Ctrl on your keyboard and then select other photos or images that want to be open. After clicking, then press open. Now we can see that all the images selected are opened in different tabs, as you can see here on top. So to close any of these images, you just go on the tab on this X icon and then click on it so that you can close the image and be left with the one of your choice that you want. The next thing you should know is how Affinity Photo is organized. Here on our left are the different tools that we'll be using for designing. Each tool that you click on displays different options here up in the contextual toolbar. As you can see, different options are displayed for a different tool, as you can see up here. On our right is our studio, a studio with many panels. For example, the histogram panel, the color panel, the adjustments, and the layers panel. Throughout this video, we are going to learn how to use a couple of these panels and a couple of our tools that we have on the left. We can also edit, can customize our studio by just going up here on View, select Studio. Here you can turn on and off different kinds of panels that you want to be in your studio, or you can either decide to reset your studio how it was the first time you opened by coming up down here and click on the Reset Studio option. Affinity Photo also gives us the ability to customize how the tools on our left can be displayed by simply going to View and then come here down and click on Customize Tools. Here I can add or remove any kind of tool that I don't want or I want. For example, if I don't want this rectangle tool, I can drag it and move it here, thereby removing it. If I thought I don't want this mesh warp tool, I can drag it and move it to the side. If I want to add another tool, I can just simply drag this tool, put it on the toolbar, just like that. I can also change the number of columns that are displayed on my tools, so just like this. Or you can either try, or you can reset them and then leave the number of columns as once. If you are done with customizing the tools, you can close the tab. So here in our left upper corner, we have the different personas in Affinity. As you can see here, photo persona, the next is liquify persona, the next is develop persona, another one is tone mapping persona, and export persona. Personnel simply means different workspaces in Affinity Designer. Right now we are in photo persona, where I can do your editing very well. As you can see now, I'm in liquify persona, provided with different tools and different panels. Now if I go to export persona, this is what the interface looks like. Different tools and different panels. So for the good work of photo editing, you need to all do your work in the photo persona, the one that you start with as you open Affinity Photo. The next thing you need to know is cropping in Affinity Photo by simply activating the crop tool here down, or by pressing letter C on your keyboard. So here you can just easily drag and move the handles to anywhere of your choice in the picture so that you can crop it. When you're done, you can come up here, select apply, or press enter on your keyboard. The great thing with Affinity Design is that the original photo is kept. So to reveal it, just simply need to activate the crop tool by pressing C on your keyboard, then move the handles out back so that you can reveal back your original photo. When you're done with moving out the handles, press enter to confirm your cropping. Another thing with cropping in Affinity Designer, you can straighten images or parts in your photo by simply clicking the crop tool. Come here to straighten in the upper toolbar, and then click and drag the part where you want any part of the photo where you want to be straightened, and draw a line just like that. Click and then drag. After dragging, it will automatically straighten the picture. Another thing, you can easily rotate your photo by simply moving your cursor just above the corner, then drag to the left or to the right to rotate, and after rotating, press enter to confirm your rotation. That's how simple cropping is done in Affinity Photo. The next thing you should know is how to remove imperfections in Affinity Photo by simply using the in-painting brush. For this example, we are going to remove this red stamp of ours by using the in-painting brush tool. But before we do that, we have to make a duplicate out of this original image of ours by simply pressing Ctrl J on your keyboard. We do this, the reason as to why we do this is to non-destructively work. This means that we shall keep the original image of ours safe by working on the duplicate, by making changes on the duplicate. So the next thing, we are going to select our duplicate. We are going to be removing this red stamp from this page by selecting the in-painting brush. We are going to get it from the healing brush tool, but you have to press here down here and then select the in-painting brush tool. The in-painting brush tool is a smart content removal used by just painting the unwanted part, just like I'm going to show you. So you enable the in-painting brush tool and then paint over the object or over the unwanted part in your image. Affinity Photo will automatically, magically remove the unwanted part, and this really looks awesome. To see the preview, we're going to just uncheck here the stick on our duplicate so that you can see the preview and the changes made. Just simply doing this. That's the duplicate, and this is the original photo. This is the duplicate on top. For our next example, we are going to remove the Akins from her face by simply using the in-painting brush tool, as we have done in the first example. But before we proceed, remember to create a duplicate out of the original photo by simply pressing Ctrl or Command J on your keyboard. You are going to be removing this simple Akins from her face. So to zoom in, press Ctrl, scroll up on your mouse, and to zoom out, press Ctrl and scroll down on your mouse to move out. Or you can simply come here to view and then select zoom, and here select whether to zoom in or to zoom out. To move anywhere in the picture, you just need to simply hold spacebar and then drag anywhere. Hold spacebar and then drag anywhere to move anywhere of the pic. just like that. So you have to note this: when using the in-painting brush, make sure that the hardness is at 100%, not at 80%, but at 100%, so that you can come up with better results. And you can come here at the left where there's width to change the size of your in-painting brush. Just come here, either drag to the left or to the right, or you can simply use the brackets keys that are beneath your equal signs buttons on your keyboard, just by using those simple shortcuts that are beneath the equal signs button on your keyboard, whereby the right bracket key on your keyboard increases the size of the brush, and the left button key, the left bracket key, reduces the size of the brush. So you can simply reduce or increase the size of the brush by using those simple keys on your keyboard. So then after, paint those icons from our face, just like as I'm doing here. And when you're done, we are going to see the preview by just unchecking this small box here, but to see before and after. Right now we're on the original photo, and now this is the duplicate. This is done by just checking and unchecking to see the preview and then the duplicate of the picture. So this is how you can simply remove the imperfections from our photo in Affinity Photo. The fifth thing you need to know in Affinity Designer is how to use the adjustment layers. The adjustment layers allow you to non-destructively change the colors of your images without making bad changes. So you come here down on the adjustment icon, click on it, and after clicking on it, you are displayed with different kinds of layers, and for this case we are going to try out the black and white adjustment layer. Now you can see that our picture is already in black and white. We are now provided with this dialog with different color sliders, whereby moving any slider to the left darkens the color, and moving it to the right lightens the color, just like this. Moving the red slider to the left darkens the reds in the black and white image, and moving it to the right lightens the reds in the black and white image that we have. The same applies to the other color sliders that we have here. The same applies to cyan. Moving it to the right lightens the cyans, and moving it to the left darkens the cyans. The same applies to the rest of these color sliders. So when you're done with making adjustments, come here up on this X icon and press it to exit this dialog. As we have seen previously in this video, you can see the before and after by just unchecking this box, turning it off and on. To go back and make changes in the black and white adjustment layer, come here on this icon, double click it so that you can be brought back to this dialog box and still make changes again if you want. So if you're done, you can close it. Remember, for the adjustment layer to work effectively, it has to be above the picture, and the picture has to be beneath the adjustment layer, so that the adjustment layer can work effectively on the picture. If at all this original picture was above the adjustment layer won't be working. Let me show you this by just doing it for you, moving it up. You see now the adjustment layer is not working because it is beneath the image. For the adjustment layer to work, it has to be above the image. This is done by just simply dragging it above the image so that the image is beneath the adjustment layer, just like this. Now you can see it is working effectively on the image which is beneath it. To delete the adjustment layer, right click on it and then place the rate. So we are going to try out another adjustment layer by simply coming back again with this adjustment icons, click on it. For another example, we are going to try it on the brightness and contrast adjustment layer. For this case, we are going to increase the brightness and the contrast, just like that, and then close. So here you can see before and after by just turning the adjustment layer off and on, just like as we've been doing. For this case, there's too much change, so we need to at least reduce by, so come here and the icon, double click, reduce on the contrast and brightness. Note this: the smaller the change, the more perfect and the real are the results that put in your images. Beginners have a tendency of making bigger adjustments, which makes their pictures look imperfect, fake and unreal. So to come out with better results, make sure that you come up with small changes. So we are going to add another adjustment, the HSL. For this case, we can increase the color saturation of the colors in our image by moving this slider either to the right or to the left. To the left decreases the saturation, and to the right increase the color saturation, just like that. So you can see the before and after applying the HSL adjustment layer. Or you can either select all of them and then turn them off and on at once, just like that. So there are other adjustment layers that we haven't talked about that are being held in this Affinity Photo, so you can check them out by yourself. Yeah, that's how it is simple to add adjustment layers in Affinity Photo. The sixth thing you need to know is how to use masks. Masks show and hide parts of a layer. The white mask indicates that the layer is visible, and the black mask indicates that the layer is invisible. Let me show you how this works using this picture of ours. So select the picture, come here down on this icon that is like a Japanese flag, click on it, and then a mask will be applied on our picture. This is our mask. So now, to prove what I was saying, we are going to make sure that we select our brush tool from the left side. Yeah, just like this. Select the mask, pick your brush tool. Now here we're going to paint using the black to show that this layer is visible. What we have painted is invisible, just like this. The transparency means that there is nothing there. So to recover or to reveal back our picture, we are going to change to white. Remember, the white means that the layer is invisible. So come here, click on this arrow to change the color, and then paint again where the transparency is, indicating that now that layer is visible, just like that. Just like any other layer, we can preview the before and after from here by checking and unchecking this box here. Since I'm done with the layer of this mask, I can click and drag it to the trash so that it can be deleted. Now that we have learned the basics of masks, let's see how they are applied on adjustments layer. Make sure that you select the picture, come here to the adjustments icon, click on it, and then select the black and white adjustment layer. The good thing with adjustment layers, they come with a pre-built mask. So here we are just going to select our brush tool, you see. So now we're going to select our brush tool, put it to black so that we can make any part of the picture invisible, make any part of the layer just by painting. Now you see where I'm painting the black and white layer is invisible in the part that I'm just painting. just like that. Where the black and white is still appears, that means that layer is still visible, but where I've painted means that it is invisible, just like that. So in case you ever paint like this, you can just simply switch colors. You see, as I've overpainted here, you can simply just change colors. Just coming here, click on the white. Remember, the white shows that the layer is visible, and then paint again to recover, meaning that where we have just painted with white, the layer is now visible. But I recommend you to use a hardness of 0%. This is because hardness of 0% cannot be easily noticed, but the hardness of 100% can easily be noticed and can easily be and it is always sharp. So I recommend you to use a hardness of 0% whenever you're applying masks, or whenever you're painting a mask with a white or black color, so you can perfect the parts you have painted. But make sure that you have the right layer selected when applying these masks. The seventh thing that you need to know is how to make selections in Affinity Photo. This can be easily done by using a tool called the selection brush tool on your left. With this tool, all you have to do is just paint any part of your image that you want to select, and Affinity will automatically detect the part or the image or the object that you want to select. For this case, we are going to try to paint across this moon of ours so that we can select it, just like that. Affinity will automatically detect the object that you're selecting. In case you overselect or you mistakenly select somewhere you never wanted, you can just come here up, select the subtract option, and then paint the unwanted part or the mistake that you made while painting. Here you can increase the width or reduce the width of the brush tool that you're using. Now you can see that our edges, the circular edges, are not that perfect, so we need to perfect them by refining. So you're going to just simply come here in our contextual toolbar and select this refine option. So when you select it, you are provided with this dialog having many options, but for this case we're only going to use this smooth slide option by increasing the smoothness so that our edges of the selection can be refined. And when you're done with increasing the smoothness, then click on apply. Now you can see now that our selection edges are now smooth and refined. So let's try applying any adjustment layer on only the selected area. We're going to use the recolor adjustment layer. Now you can see that the recolor adjustment layer is only applied in the selected area of our picture, only in that. And as you can see here in our icon, it means that a mask has been applied. The white mask is only in the selected area, and the black mask is only applied in the other area that is not selected, as you can see in our icon here in the layers panel. So when you're done with applying this adjustment layer, you can close. You see it's only the selected area that the recolor adjustment layer is made. So now you can deselect by pressing Ctrl Command D on your keyboard. The eighth thing that you should know is how to change the background of the photo. And the first thing you need to do is to make a selection of the part of the image that you want to keep. We could make another selection of this moon, but since we had already done it, we can use a shortcut of reselecting that selection again by simply coming to this layer of ours, holding Ctrl or Command on your keyboard, clicking this icon so that the selection can be reloaded. As you can see, now we are going to apply a mask on our photo. So select the image and then apply a mask on it. So now we are only left with our selected moon, and the layer is only being applied to our selection, just like that. So if at all you wanted to only remove the background of the image, at this step you could be done. If at all you want to apply a new background to your picture, all you need to do is to copy this layer of ours, the layered mask, and paste it into another picture. We're going to open a new picture, so come here up in the left corner, click on file, select on the picture, this couple picture, and then open it. So now we are going to put our moon into this picture. So go back to the moon picture, select the picture, right click and then copy, then come back to this picture of ours, select the move tool and then right click and paste. Now you see our moon is being applied or added to this picture of ours, and using the move tool you can drag and move the moon anywhere in the picture. You can resize it by still using this moon tool of ours. So for this case I'm going to somehow resize it, just like that, put it there, yeah, just like this. And to beautify our looking, I'm going to reduce the transparency, the opacity of our moon to at least 70%, yeah, so that it can really look real. Yeah, so that's how you can simply add a background to another picture in Affinity Photo. The ninth thing that you need to know is how to add the text into your photo, and this can be easily done by using the artistic text tool so that you can add the text. So come here to your left where the tools are found, select the artistic text tool, click and drag, and then type in what you want. For the sake, I'm going to type in couples night, and when you're done with typing, click escape to exit the typing mode. As this text is selected, you can edit, change the color, do anything. For this case I'm going to change the font. Let's see, I want to change to this font. You can change the size, you can make it to be italic, you can put underline, you can put the line, you can change the color just like this. With the move tool selected, you can drag, move the text anywhere you want, you can resize it, yeah, it's just easily like that. If at all you want to still edit, click on the artistic text tool and then click anywhere in the text so that you can continue editing. Yeah, finally, the last thing that you need to know in Affinity Designer is how to save and how to export what you have done, your file, or export your image, or export anything. So if you want to save so that you can still work on your project or your picture at a later date, come here to the left on file, click save as, so that your file can be saved as an Affinity file whereby you can come back at a later date and continue working up on anything. Or when you're done, you're finally done with the picture, come here down, select export. Now as you can see, Affinity has a lot of formats that you can export your projects to or your images to, but the most common ones are the PNG and the JPEG. The JPEG is useful because it exports your picture as a small size file, while the PNG is useful because it preserves the transparency in the photo. But for this case, our picture doesn't have any transparency, so we are going to save it. We are going to export it into a JPEG. So select the JPEG, and now here down you can see the estimated file size. So you can either decide to reduce it or keep it. You can reduce it by reducing the size or by lowering down the quality. So let's lower the quality by putting it like at 90. Yeah, 90. And then when you're done, now you see the size is now reduced. The estimated size is now reduced to a lower size. And when you're done, click on the export. All you need to do here, provide your picture with their name and then click on save. Congratulations, now that you have made it to the end of the video, I believe that you have acquired the basics beginners and professionals need to know while using Affinity Designer. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you can get notified when a new upload or a new tutorial is made. Thank you guys. Stay blessed.